2014, General Motors recalled nearly 800,000 cars for a defective ignition switch. The defect had existed for over a decade, and during that time, it killed at least 124 people, and it exposed one of the deadliest corporate cover-ups in American history.
Word of a massive recall from General Motors. More than 1 million vehicles are affected, and here's the issue. It's an ignition problem.
You see, GM knew about the defect the whole time, but instead of fixing it, they allowed a lethal mechanical failure to go unchecked to save pennies per unit. Take the case of 18-year-old Natasha Weigel. On October 24, 2006, she was riding home in a 2005 Chevy Cobalt with her friends, 17-year-old Megan Phillips and 15-year-old Amy Raidmaker. Megan was driving when suddenly the car lost all power steering and power brakes. The car crashed with no airbags deployed. Megan suffered severe brain injuries. Natasha and Amy both died, and for years, no one knew why. But the truth was a tiny spring inside the steering column that was simply too weak to do its job. You see, an ignition switch needs a certain amount of stiffness to hold the key in place against the vibrations of the car. This resistance is measured in torque. Now, GM's own standards required the switch to have a torque between 10 and 20 Newton centimeters to stay safely locked in the run position. But the switch GM approved was designed with less than 10. This meant the spring inside was dangerously weak. If a driver had a heavy keychain, the keys acted like a pendulum. Or, if a driver sat close to the wheel, a simple bump from their knee was enough to rotate the key. And because the resistance was so low, the key would slip from run to the accessory or off position without the driver even noticing. And this is where things went terribly wrong. When the switch slipped, the engine shut off instantly. The power steering stopped working. The power brakes stopped working. And most critically, the airbags were disabled. You see, the system was designed to cut power to the airbags in accessory mode. So in the exact moment people needed them most, they simply wouldn't inflate. The defect first appeared in 2001. By 2002, GM engineer Ray DiGiorgio approved the faulty switch for production, even though he knew it was flimsy and didn't meet GM's own standards. By 2005, the company had multiple opportunities to fix it. In March of that year, GM rejected a proposal to redesign the switch. The reason? It would be too costly and take too long. Internal emails showed the change would have cost an extra 90 cents per unit. For a company the size of General Motors, this was essentially nothing. Instead of fixing it, they sent a bulletin to dealers advising them to tell customers to remove unessential items from their keychains. They blamed the drivers, not the car. That same year, the defect claimed its first known victim. 16-year-old Amber Marie Rose died when her 2005 Chevrolet Cobalt crashed into a tree. In 2006, Ray DiGiorgio finally acted. He secretly replaced the defective switch with an upgraded version. It was a proper fix. But here is where it gets murky. DiGiorgio authorized the change but kept the part number the same. This was a clear violation of engineering standards. Because the part number didn't change, defective switches kept getting reinstalled during repairs. Mechanics couldn't tell them apart, and investigators couldn't track the change. The truth stayed hidden until 2013, when an attorney named Lance Cooper took on the case. Cooper was representing the family of Brooke Melton, another young woman who had died in a Cobalt crash. Cooper hired an engineer named Mark Hood, who took X-ray photographs of the switches. The images revealed the internal differences between the old and new designs. Finally, there was physical proof. In April 2013, DiGiorgio sat for a deposition. He was shown the X-ray photos. A shocked DiGiorgio was confronted with the undeniable truth. In the same deposition, he was asked directly if he had signed off on the change. He stated under oath that if any change had been made, it was done without him authorizing it.
So if any such change was made, it was made without your knowledge and authorization.
That is correct.
But as we have seen, documents proved he had. He had signed the validation order himself in 2006. In 2014, Mary Barra became CEO, and the company eventually recalled millions of vehicles. But for many victims, justice was impossible. You see, in 2009, GM had filed for bankruptcy. The company was split into Old GM, which held the liabilities, and New GM, which got the assets. In 2014, a court ruling granted New GM immunity for accidents involving cars built before the bankruptcy. If your loved one died in a pre-2009 car, you were suing a company that no longer existed. GM used this shield to fight off lawsuits. But while they fought in court, the public pressure was mounting. So, GM established a voluntary compensation fund in 2014. This fund eventually paid out roughly $594 million to families. In July 2016, a federal appeals court finally overturned the bankruptcy protection. The court ruled that because Old GM hid the defect during bankruptcy proceedings, they couldn't use bankruptcy to escape the lawsuits. GM fought back hard. They appealed the decision, trying to maintain their legal shield. But eventually, they lost. But despite the cover-up, the lies under oath, and the decade-long concealment, no individuals faced criminal charges.